Hi everyone, my name is Alexandra. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I want to clarify at the beginning, I don't study neuroscience. I don't have any degree in it. I don't have any certificate. This is something I study for my own pleasure, for my own expansion. Today, I'm going to tell you the neuroscience facts that actually, after I started implementing them into my own life, changed my life. The first one is, we're starting off strongly. You don't attract what you want, you attract who you are. And this is very important to understand also because this is a manifestation channel. We love spirituality, we love psychology, and we love to connect them both. This thing is very important for you to understand. I was saying it a lot in my previous videos, but in different words because I was speaking more about the spiritual part. Since you attract only who you are and not what you want, all the patterns that you have right now, no matter how many times you're gonna say, I want this, I want this, I want this, you're gonna manifest, you have to first reach to the level of the thing that you want. For example, the relationships. Some people say, oh, I want a healthy, loving, steady partner that is gonna be patient with me, that is gonna speak calmly, that is gonna be very emotionally mature. But when you are not emotionally mature yourself, you're not going to attract people like that because similarities attracted themselves. And this is a very, very important thing for you to understand. You're not going to get the things that you want unless you're actually on the same level as them. When you want to have whatever you want to have, you have to first become it. Another thing is you were never born limited. This is a huge thing to understand. All of those, I could not do it, thoughts in your brain that are saying you're not enough, or this is too impossible, or maybe somebody else would do it, but you're not the person to do it. This was never something you were born with. This was never something you were programmed from the beginning with. This is something that you heard or your environment made you reach smaller, and this was not something that you were from the beginning. The moment I realized, hey, I never had those thoughts before, why do I have them right now, is something that is a bit heartbreaking, because why would you tell to this little child that they cannot do it? What do you mean they cannot do it? They can do whatever they want because they never had any limits in their mind. Only you put them on them. Analyze in your mind, when was the first time somebody said to you, you cannot do it? Or maybe somebody else, but like you're not good enough. Like even in the sweet words, it didn't have to be very cruel or anything like that. When was the first time somebody made you think that you were not good enough? Realize this time, get into the source and basically burn those limits, because this is very heartbreaking. Like I said, when I realized that, hey, this little girl had so many dreams and basically somebody crushed them. The best thing that you can do to this inner child of yours is literally just to understand from your adult's perspective, from like your adult's mind right now, to see the bigger picture and be like, you can do it. You're actually good enough for it. You were never programmed to believe this way. This is just somebody else's limit that they put it on you. Maybe they couldn't do it and they tried to give you their perception. The best thing that you can do is go to the source, analyze when was the first time, and just basically do some shadow work. I really, really recommend it. And maybe you're gonna start to reach for the impossible, because before it was impossible for you, it was possible. You never had the impossible in your mind. You always had everything that you ever wanted was possible. Somebody started to say, look, no, this is too much, this is too much, this is too much, and then it became impossible. But actually, the way to reach your full potential, the way to actually get all your dreams is to burn those limits, because otherwise you're gonna subconsciously stay small. Like you're gonna subconsciously put yourself smaller and smaller and smaller, and you're gonna stay in your comfort zone. And this is the intro to actually another point, is that your brain always looks for comfort. Remember when we were cavemen, basically your number one thing that you had to do was survive. Everything that your mind was focusing on is comfort. What is comfortable, what is known, what is familiar to us. This is the way our brain is programmed. This is the way our brain works. It looks for all the things that are known. It looks for all the things that are familiar, that are comfortable, that basically we already have done before, because it loves to know. It loves to recognize. Your brain is never trying to reach for your success. If you want to actually reach for your success, if you actually want to become successful, it takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of willpower, because the way your brain is programmed, it's never programmed to get you outside of the comfort, to get you out there, to like bring you to success, to bring you to the fame or anything. No. Your brain is supposed to keep you safe. It's supposed to continue your survival. This is the main task that your brain ever had. It's like the inner instinct, right? It strikes to keep you safe, and this is okay. But you know better right now that you're not living in a cave anymore. You don't have tigers and lions around you, or bears, or whatever it was, the big animals that you had to hide from. You don't have them around you. You are safe. You have a home. You have a house. Since you're watching this video, obviously you have like something to watch this video from. And so you're okay. There are no wild animals like going around you. You don't have to like search for the food like every single day and worry if you're gonna eat for another week. Basically, you're safe. You're okay. So since you're okay, you can tell to your brain, hey, actually, this is okay. The fact that this is uncomfortable is okay. And you have to step into this discomfort. If you want to actually get the success, if you want to be successful, if you want to reach your goals, if you want to get everything that you ever wanted, reach to your fullest potential, you have to learn how to be uncomfortable. And this is something that is super important because your brain will do everything. Your brain subconsciously will choose the things that are comfortable instead of saying like pushing you in other directions. So it takes a lot of discipline, it takes a lot of willpower to actually be successful, to actually get out of from those limits, from those walls, from this survival mode, especially if this is not something that your parents taught you before, if this is not something that your parents were telling you from the beginning, will reprogramming your brain to actually say that you have to like do this, try this. Like if they weren't so pushy for you to be successful, then you have to understand it for yourself. You have to push yourself for yourself, basically, because you have right now limits that you are not born with, but you have them right now. And right now, whatever you want to do, however you want to change, it takes lots and lots of discipline. Whatever you want to attract, you have to first become. So whatever you want to become, you have to reprogram your brain, but it hates reprogramming. You're going to feel very uncomfortable. You're going to feel very scared. You're going to feel like, oh my God, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. And actually, I was speaking with my boyfriend about it because I was telling him all the routine hacks and the habits that I loved that he can start implementing, because like we were talking about the locking in challenge and stuff like that. And I was saying to him like, oh, I choose for myself this, this, and that to do every day. And he was saying to me, oh, but like with this one habit, I feel very uncomfortable. And I said, this is exactly what you should do. And this is because of this. Your brain doesn't like the discomfort. It hates the discomfort. It feels uncomfortable to be uncomfortable, basically. But it's good. When you are uncomfortable, when you're going out of this comfort zone, it shows to your brain that, hey, this is okay, this is safe. So you expand on this level. So you basically grow. So the next time that your brain is going to see it, like it's going to kind of get used to it and it's going to be known. So your brain afterwards would be like, okay, this is fine. And you're going to stop being uncomfortable because you're going to get used to it. And then there are going to be lots of other things that if you want to grow in those areas, if you want to grow in any area, basically you have to grow. You have to get out of the comfort because your comfort zone is like that. If you want to grow, basically you have to get out of the comfort zone. And this is always will be uncomfortable. No matter how many times you're going to do it, it will always be uncomfortable. But this is just something that you just have to do it. Another thing is that your perception of reality is more real than reality itself. And I want to do this like right now, this one exercise that actually like I loved it. I want you to close your eyes. I want you to close your eyes and I want you to imagine that you're eating a chicken right now. One of those crispy ones, with spices, and it's very moist inside, and you're eating it and it's so tasty and it's a bit hot, you burned your tongue a little bit, but it's really, really tasty. And so you take another bite and you're chewing and it has a really good consistency. It's very moist inside and it's very crunchy outside, and it's the best chicken you ate. And I want you to open your eyes and I want you to tell me if you felt the taste of the chicken and if you felt your tongue being burned a little bit. And I can swear to you right now that if you actually close your eyes and if you imagined eating a chicken, you did feel the taste and you did feel your tongue being burned. So, okay, and one more time, close your eyes and I want you really to focus on this exercise. I want you to close your eyes and I want you to imagine that you are being chased. You're running in the woods, you're being chased, and you're running as fast as you can. And I want you to imagine that there, like inside, is a lake. Get inside that lake, jump inside that lake. Right now, I want you to get out of this lake, and you feel this, like all this water just dripping, and your clothes are being soaked. You get out of the water, and those clothes are literally just like getting inside of your skin. They're so close to you, you feel uncomfortable, you feel the water dripping, you feel really cold. And I want you to open your eyes, and you cannot tell me that you didn't feel those feelings as if you were actually soaked through, as if your clothes were like touching and making you very uncomfortable. Of course you did feel it, because this is the way brain works. It cannot understand what is real and what is not real. So your perception, what is going on right now, if you imagine it, is more real than what is going on right now. this perception created some emotions, some feelings of like right now, and you actually tasted the chicken and you actually felt the discomfort of the clothes. Emotions as well as thoughts are chemicals, and both of those chemicals we can achieve just by imagining. We can achieve them both just by imagining. So since there are chemicals and they can actually impact our brain, they can actually impact our body. Like for example, sometimes we get stressed over the situation that never happened. Like you are reading a book and there's this scene that is just making you feel so badly, and afterwards you're just stressed even though nothing is happening to you. It's because the perception of reality is more real than reality itself. So when you're imagining something, when your brain is somewhere, where your thoughts are, your brain is like going with your thoughts. Your thoughts are chemicals, so whatever your thoughts are, this is getting in your brain. And sometimes the way we feel is not because how the things are, but because we perceived it in a certain way. We understood it in a certain way. Like 3 people can be in the same room with at the same time, with the same experience. They all get complimented, let's say, on their makeups. And depending on how they are feeling about themselves and how they are basically like taking in the room, depending on their nervous system, they're gonna get 3 different perspectives. They're gonna get 3 different perspectives. First can be like, oh my God, this person that complimented me, they were so honest, they were so sweet. I really was feeling nice tonight, and the way they complimented me, it made me super like happy and made me so confident. The second person, let's say they were in a rush and they didn't feel good about themselves, and so when somebody came up to them and said, oh, I love your makeup, and walked away, they said they were so rude. Like I knew I didn't have a great makeup, but the way they just mocked me in my face, it was so not nice. It was so rude. It was very cruel. And so this could be the second person. The third person might, for example, not even think about anything, and they like some person came up to them, I love your makeup, and was like, thanks, and then they think about it like for the rest of the night. This is just an example of how it works. But basically, like I said, your perception of reality is more real than reality itself. So the next time you're gonna say like, oh my gosh, this happened, this and that, take a deep breath, like take a distance from the situation and understand if this is just how you're taking it, or is this the thing that actually happened. And also the way you can understand it, the way you can implement it in your everyday life, is that you actually have an impact of how you perceive it, because your brain listens to you. Your thoughts are like controlled by you. And so when you can control your thoughts, when you can control this perception, you're going to take in the version of the situation that you perceived, and you have a say over how you perceive some things. This is why some people are called optimists, some people are called pessimists, some people are called realists. And so basically what I'm trying to say here is that you can become an optimist, and you can literally change the way you are feeling in the world. You can change the way you perceive the world by literally just like changing in the perception that you take from the world. And it's very easy to do, because just the next time that something is going to happen, try to colorize it. Try to add some spark to it. Try to, for example, I'm walking in the snow, and it can be just like a normal walk, but what I'm doing, it's also like very similar to like making your life more whimsical, and I love it. Like you're walking in the snow, and it can be just a normal walk, but what you can also do is you can imagine different things. You can imagine, for example, that the snow is so nice and I'm walking right now, and I took time to it. And just basically, if you can add spark to some situations, it's gonna add spark to your life, because the perception of yours from this is more real for you than what you're actually doing. And that's why some people can live the same life, like the very, very similar life, the same routines, and one person can be totally depressed, very sad, very unhappy, and the other person can be thriving, because it's the difference in the way they take in everything. And last but not least, your brain believes what you tell it. So if you're gonna keep saying, I am so trashy, I'm so bad, I'm terrible, I'm not good enough for everything, your brain listens to you and your brain believes you. But you can also connect it to the first point that I was making, and the neuroplasticity, is that you can reprogram your brain and your brain actually listens to you. So something that I would never ever do after actually understanding neuroscience is that I would never speak badly of myself. I would never speak poorly, and I would never let anybody speak poorly like of me, even in jokes. I never allow it, and I would never allow it. Also, something that I started doing is I started speaking out how much grateful I am for myself, how much happy I am with myself, how much I'm amazing, how much I'm smart, how much I'm disciplined, how much I'm this, and that. And actually, this is a life hack that some parents do to actually have like good kids. They basically, from the beginning, they tell to their kids how good they are. They just keep telling like, oh, you're so kind, you're so nice, you're so sweet, you're so good. My parents did that to my siblings and me, that basically my whole life I've heard how much I'm a good kid, how much my mom doesn't have any problems with us, and basically we're very good kids. We listen to her a lot, and like she has no problems in raising us, and we were listening to it our whole lives, and this is the way we were. And actually, when I was reading about it online, so many parents do it, that basically they program their kids from the beginning that they are very good, they listen to their mom, they're so amazing, and the kids hear it all the time, and they're like, I'm good, I'm nice, I'm this, I'm that. I never call names to the people that I don't want them to become those people. The way you're spoken about is the way you become, also from yourself, especially from yourself. So when you're gonna keep saying that you're very disciplined, that you're very kind, that you're very loving, that you're very, I don't know, you're loving yourself a lot. Like after a while, whatever affirmations you wanna say, your brain believes it. So don't joke ever about yourself in a bad way, and don't let anybody joke about you in a bad way. Don't be like, okay, it was just a joke. No, first of all, if they don't understand it, you can explain to them after they did it another time. This can be also disrespectful, because even though some jokes can be like, okay, like we have a distance to each other, it's fine, like we know each other for years, I know they don't believe it, okay, but explain to them like how it works, and don't let anybody make fun of you like, oh, you're so stupid, you're so mean, you're so like that, you're such a drunkie, you don't go and don't let anybody joke like that like at you, because this is the way you're gonna program your brain that, hey, I'm laughing at that, it's actually okay. And some bonus thing that I want to say here is also the way dark humor works. I stopped laughing at dark humor, I stopped engaging with dark humor, because the way it works is when you have like the high point of a joke. I don't know how to say it in English. I think it's called the same, the puenta of a joke. In the puenta of a joke, your brain releases the happy hormones. So when somebody says dark joke, you hear it or they say it, your happy hormones are being released at the high point. So basically, if the joke is at something cruel, is at something that is disrespectful to anybody, your brain, after hearing it for a while, it understands that, hey, okay, we have happy hormones, we hear this thing, they connect them to, and you are less probable to think of it as disrespect, because you think of it as something that is nice. Because when you heard about it before, you had happy hormones. So when you hear lots of racist jokes, you actually can become racist from the racist jokes, even though it's just a dark humor. I don't tolerate it. I don't like it. This is all I wanted to say in today's video. It gave me so much pleasure talking to you guys. I love you guys so much, and I cannot wait to talk to you next week. If you like this video, remember to give the like down below and to subscribe to the channel if you want to stay here for longer. Comment down below which one was the most surprising one, and comment down below if you want me to open up a series of like neuroscience hacks. And like I said before, I love you guys so much, and I hope you have an amazing week. Bye!